So, what does it really take to build a community? I mean, not with bricks and mortar, but with real connection, local commerce, and a vision that everyone can get behind. Today, we're going to look at a small market in Canyon Lake, Texas, that's pretty much a perfect blueprint for how it's done. Let's dive into the story of Startz Market Days and see what we can learn. And really, this one sentence from the organizer, Paul Sullivan, it just says it all, doesn't it? This is the core idea, the whole spirit of the thing. It's not just about selling stuff, it's a whole philosophy. And we're going to see this idea play out over and over. All right, so where does something like this even get started? Well, it all kicks off with a simple idea and, a pretty bold announcement. So, back in late 2025, the plan was put out there. Let's have a monthly market. But what I find so interesting is that phrase right there, a hill country tradition in the making. They weren't just thinking, hey, let's throw an event. No, the ambition was baked in from day one. They were aiming to create something that lasts. And you can just picture it, right? The vision was so clear and vibrant. This wasn't going to be some boring, sterile shopping experience. We're talking live music, one-of-a-kind stuff from local folks, awesome food, a place where you could actually bring your family, bring your dog, and just hang out. They weren't just selling goods, they were building a whole vibe. Okay, so you've put the idea out into the world. But that's just step one, isn't it? How people actually respond, well, that's everything. And that's where the real story begins. As soon as the word got out, people started talking. And this is where it gets really interesting because the feedback wasn't all just cheering. It was a real mix of pure excitement and some very practical, down-to-earth concerns. Right off the bat, you get this incredible enthusiasm. People like Tammy Stolz's who immediately see the potential and they're thinking, I want in. This is your first sign that you're on to something good. The makers and the artists are on board. But then, of course, you get this skepticism. And honestly, this is just as important. Rich Barlow brings up a super valid point, logistics. I mean, a great event with terrible parking isn't a great event. This kind of feedback is gold because it pulls the grand vision right back down to reality. So after all that talk, how did the first market actually go? Well, here's your answer. Success. This comment from some vendors, Rick and Diane Mills, is the proof in the pudding. They had a great turnout, they were happy, and they'd immediately booked their spot for the next one. That tells you the idea worked and they figured out those logistical hurdles. So what's the secret sauce here? How do you go from a legit concern about parking to a vendor who can't wait to come back? It's actually pretty simple, though not always easy. They listened. And then they actually did something about it. Let's see how. And here it is, right in black and white. The community asks a direct question, and they get a direct, concrete answer. It's not some vague, oh, we'll figure it out. It's a specific plan, worked out with other local businesses. This is exactly how you build trust. So you take all that conversation, the excitement, the worries, all of it. And what do you get? You get this, the final plan. It's simple, it's clear, and it answers pretty much every question you might have before you even head out the door. Everybody knows what to expect, and that, right there, is a recipe for a great day. Okay, so we've covered the how, the logistics of it all. But what's the why? Well, the real foundation of this market is way deeper than just parking spots and vendor tents. It's really about a philosophy of people helping people. Oh, man, I love this quote. It just draws such a clear line in the sand. This isn't about getting some big corporation to slap their logo on a banner. It's a totally different approach. Completely from the ground up. It reframes the whole idea of sponsorship into something personal, community investment. So when they say neighbors investing in neighbors, what does that actually look like? Where does the money go? Well, it goes right back into creating that experience we talked about. It pays for local musicians to set the mood. It covers the boring but necessary stuff like signs. And most importantly, it supports the very heart of the event, the small, family-run businesses. And it makes sure the whole thing stays free for everybody to come and enjoy. And that spirit of giving doesn't even stop at the market's edge. By also being a drop-off spot for the local food pantry, the market becomes this amazing hub for neighborly care. It's not just about what you can buy. It's about how you can contribute. It weaves social responsibility right into the fabric of the event. So when you step back and you put all of these pieces together, the big vision, the community feedback, the concrete action, that core philosophy, you see that what you have here is more than just an event. It's basically a formula. This is the perfect term for it, right? A community catalyst. It's something that just kicks things into gear. It sparks connections, it gets the local economy humming, and it fosters that feeling of mutual support. And this definition isn't just for this one market. It's a model that could work just about anywhere. The key is that last part, actively listening and responding. And at the end of the day, it all boils down to this powerful mission statement from the organizers themselves. It connects the simple act of buying a handmade candle or a taco to this much bigger, more meaningful goal of strengthening the whole community. Every little bit counts. Which kind of leaves us with one big question to chew on, doesn't it? We've seen one answer right here. This amazing blend of vision, dialogue, and just neighbors investing in neighbors. But it makes you think, what about in your own community? What are the ingredients that make it strong? What's your town's secret sauce? Definitely something to think about.